Welcome, friends, to another hard-hitting edition of the GRC Engineering Podcast. I believe we're calling these Fireside chats for, I think it's a double entendre there at the very least, hearkening back to the days of the Fireside radio address, but also, we're next to fiery guests. We only have people that are passionate and engaged in this space as part of the club. That's one of the perks of joining, if you ask me. But joining us today is, of course, the amazing co-host, Amanda. Amanda, you want to say hi?
Hey, guys.
And today, as a guest, we have, in my opinion, the legendary Robert E. Wiley Jr. It's truly, this is one of those. I was excited to get a follow back on LinkedIn. I remember, I think, telling my wife, like, yo. And then now when you dropped into the GRC, the club, I was like, oh, this is okay. This is something. This is, I knew it was something before, but please, for the two people that might not know who you are in this space, give us a little background there, sir. Take us on the journey.
Never heard of them.
I'm still living in my little shack. Nobody knows who I am. Anyway,
There you go.
So you guys want to talk about my journey? It's been a hard journey. Like most everybody, I had a rough life, made it through as much as I could through school. And then I dropped out, got my GED. And when I was younger, because the era I was born, I was infatuated with the video games, anything digital, spend many a quarters trying to play Pac-Man and some pinball and whatnot. But that seemed to take my mind away from the home trouble. So I moved on from my GED and I was able to apply at DeVry. And when I was at DeVry in Arizona, they captured my heart with everything digital. I was like, ooh, I love this. But my problem was I could not compete with out-of-state tuition costs. I had 3 part-time jobs. I maxed out all my student loans and I still did not have enough money. So I had to pack my bags and go home. Not a big deal. One hurdle after another. I went home, joined the military. I heard a lot of amazing stories about joining the Air Force. They're like, oh, they help you get your degree. They can move you along where you want to go. That was not the case. So another hurdle. My first base there was Cannon Air Force Base, and it was all agriculture. There was nothing digital for miles. It was all just plants and dirt. I'm like, this is not. There's no classes. Nothing's going to help me. And this is
They
back
lied to
before
me.
online, right? To help pass my time there, we tossed cow patties as far as we could. We watched a couple of races, turned wrenches because I was a mechanic in the Air Force. And then I went to another base in England, and I couldn't transfer the credits that I got there into a different degree because it was England's section, how they did their stuff, and I had to go through another long process. I'm like, come on, how is this going to work for me? Anyway, another hurdle. Finally ended up coming back to the States. And then after 20 something years, I finally finished a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, what do I want to do when I grow up? I have no idea. But I had 21 years dug in my head about turning wrenches or being a fleet manager. So I immediately was going that direction. And I started to go to Boise State for my MBA. And one of my good friends in a different class said, hey, Boise State's starting up a cybersecurity thing. Are you interested? I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what this is. So I talked to Dr. Lee there, and he brought me on, and my whole world changed from 21 to current. Everything flipped upside down. So I was able to do a couple of internships, one for the Idaho State Technology Services area, and I learned a lot about audits. And everything I learned from my master's, everything was in there. So I got to dabble in a little bit of it. And then I did another internship at the Peregrine Fund where they had no money and you had to be extremely creative on security. I'm like, holy crap. And I got to see totally night and day on how to do stuff. One area had tons of money and I just, whatever I thought, sure, dump money into it, make it happen. And the other one was like, we have no money for that. How do you do this? I'm like, I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So from that position, I moved into Priscillis. Priscillis really got my juices flowing for audits and assessment. And it really, I had to decide what I wanted to do because I wasn't sure if I wanted to. I heard so many stories about everybody living 24 hours at the computer screen doing SOC stuff. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. It sounds fun, but no. So my previous years in the Air Force where I learned about frameworks and guidance and governance and all that stuff. It kind of like stuck with me where I wanted to do GRC. I'm like, okay, so I really got to cut my teeth, and I had done, I don't know, 60 something schools where we'd done 171 audits on higher education. And the thing that really frustrated me was that everything was decentralized. There was hard to pin down some kind of control because it wasn't, well, that's not my control. That's a different department. Or I don't do that. That's a different department. I'm like, how do I write down who does this then? Who knows how? Oh my Lord, I'm just going crazy. From there, I worked for A-Line for a little bit, and I finally moved through the process, and I'm now at Prescient Security. The thing that amazes me when I started my doctorate is that I had thought before I even joined Prescient, I had thought about there's got to be ways where you could code something and put it into this piece and spit out something for somebody who wanted something. I'm like, we could build something like that. So my research started out as automation. That's exactly what I was like, okay, let's do that. Python worked out. We could run scripts. I'm like, you could put all these pieces together. From 24 to 25, I was starting to build an idea of what I wanted. I'm like, okay, I think this can happen. And then all through 25, AI was huge. I mean, it just blew up. I'm like, well, we could use that into another realm of what I'm trying to do. So I built this item's called Convergent Governance, where it takes all the AI pieces and it spits out the things I want. The problem was there was so much hallucinations at that time that it was not even accurate. So got to work with Prescient, and they decided we could do automation, and this is how we did it. And it got to me thinking that since the LLMs are so big and the hallucinations are so large, shrink down the AI machine so it only can do this piece of information, not all of the information pieces, right? You just a little small one. So then I developed a tier system of AI where you have your nanos and your minis. They do the grunt work, right? All the grunt work of go retrieve this, go do that math, go do this thing. Is that doing what it's supposed to? And then another tier where it does the reasoning from each of those pieces. Reasoning from finance, reasoning from regulatories, reasoning from, all the, like a SIM piece. And then there's another layer on top of that does governance. Each of these feed into another piece that requires some kind of authority to say, hey, this is allowable. This is what's needed. It moves away from any drift whatsoever. Because, one of the biggest things we have right now is you could have somebody move out of an organization, and whatever they had set up is going to change by the next person who comes in. So it's already created a drift by person. And then you could have a drift by regulatory system. Somebody's following it how they're supposed to versus somebody's got a different perception of what it is. So the AI machines, they're set based on primitives in each one of those that says you can only do this piece, right? And I have like 56 AI machines and probably, I don't know, 30 primitives, where some of the AI machines will interact with some of the primitives, but they are very focused on a little bit of the information so they don't go haywire. Anyway, I got connected to GRC Club, and it has been on fire ever since. I'm like, holy crap, this is my people.
Yeah.
All these people want to do this.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
right?
that's my story. That's how I got here.
You want to take a breath?
Yeah, sorry.
And
I'm telling you, I keep
it's
talking.
amazing to hear because what I think a lot of folks don't understand, at least I didn't, like starting the PhD process, is you can come in and start with an idea and it can morph and change, and what you end up putting on paper and defending could be different than, right?
Yeah, I had to give myself governance because it kept going and going and going. I'm like, man, how big can this go? So I'm like, okay, this is it. I have to build something now. I can't just keep making ideas. So now I'm in the process of actually building my convergence governance. I'm so excited because the protocols are so perfect. President Trump just signed the SBIR. So I have a package where I can go process that, get funds in to build it, and then send it out and get more people involved. So one of the things I'm working on is if this process is through, GRC Club's going to build it for us. They're all part of this whole thing, and I'm trying to get Prez in here to say, hey, if you give me this letter, we're golden. He's like, when do you need it? I'm like, as soon as you can give it to me. Let's go. Let's
Honestly,
go, man.
no, and it's
So
and
they're
I
going to
love
be
the
on.
concept.
Everybody is going to do a piece of this thing, and it's going to go out. I'm telling you, the way it's built, and everybody says the same thing, but I'm certain it's going to change the world. It really is going to change the world.
It seems like the contra to like the consistent, like the weird kerfuffle we're seeing with a Delve, for example, right? Where like
That's one of
you're
the
right, and like you're trying to set it so that it can be dangerous in the tight lanes that it needs to be, but I love that staggered approach because it's a unique way to make sure that you're covering all that you need to cover. So you definitely need to, upfront know your stuff, which obviously you do. It's not like you're just trying to,
right.
automate whatever, right? You're not just coming in and going, listen, I picked up 171 yesterday, and
God, no.
you have the time, and you have the time in the trenches, right? Exactly. Doing all, but then because what a lot of these tools that I'm seeing, from the other side with the vetting vendors, they promise the world, and then you look even just like minimally under the hood, and you go, how the heck is this built? Who built this? Like, did this other person really look me in the eye and tell me,
Yeah,
like,
right.
that it could do all these things? And
Yep.
this is garbage.
It's
But
exactly
because
how
it's
it was with
79,
schools. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Robert, I had a question.
Go ahead.
Sure.
How are you handling model drift currently? What's your process? What are some things you're considering?
So there is a function from ChatGPT. I think if it's not out already, I'm waiting for it so I have access. There's a function for 5.5 that it really is governance, but it's a cognitive solution where there's math. The math uses multiple machines, multiple AI machines, and it does the probability to show, hey, is this in the same state as when you built it? Right. So it'll use a reasoning system on top of overlay of another one so that if there's any amount of drift, it sends a flag, say, hey, this is not right. Something's wrong here. So it'll tell either the owner or the CEO or somebody, whoever the next person is, it sends them a list, say, hey, go check this out and put in why it's this drift if it's allowed. Right. So there's a solution to say you can do the drift, but you got to have a reason why, not just because.
And then does the person go and like accept the drift or decline the drift essentially?
Yeah. So it could be a button, or it could be there's a narrative that's behind it. What's the cause? What's the purpose? Is this allowed? What's the impact? Because obviously there's a risk if there's drift to it. So my system has a fair system. It's qualitative, not quantitative. So it maxes those points out so that if it's over a number and somebody signs it, that's an FCA. That's a claims act right there, right? It really is gonna hold people accountable.
And is all of that logged?
Oh, absolutely. There's like 3 other agents that logs all of that. Whoever opened it, the screen logs the screen. The person who, obviously not the button, but where the IP is coming from, where all the pieces that go to it. Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I know you're not a rookie.
Yeah.
But
No,
Thank you.
but what's crazy is you're asking questions, and I don't want to name any names to protect the innocent here, but you'd be surprised at
Yes.
that logging question alone, Amanda, or you wouldn't be surprised. I think in your line of work, you have to get a lot of sad blank stares sometimes as an auditor, where
I get
logs.
pushback all the time. Oh yeah, it logs it. Well, let me see it. I'm like, well, I don't know where that's at. I'm like,
Well,
are you kidding
listen,
me? Who's the
calm
person
down.
that does that?
All right, take me out to dinner first. You want to see my logs? Like we're
Yeah,
like,
right.
let's get some coffee. That's a little forward, but then like, it's like, no, you're just telling me like your logging is trust you, bro. No, like this
No.
is not.
Yeah.
Or no, my person that can read the logs isn't here today.
Well, let's make another appointment then. I have
That's it.
you've so many times. They're like, you want to what? Oh yeah, we're not done. So
Yeah.
I've seen it multiple times where doing an assessment is the same as proving the sky is blue. I've seen that so many times, right? Okay, you're telling me it's blue. Prove it. What's giving me the facts? Where's your spectrum? Where's your whose eyes? All the things. Yeah, it's very funny. And higher education is the worst. There is probably some really good schools out there. Don't get me wrong, but the ones that I have been able to look at, I was like, wow. I'm like, you guys are in trouble.
What was making you get your PhD then, if you don't mind me asking?
So it first started out as a childhood dream. Always I'm like, oh wow, because my dad he was not able to read and write. He got hit in the head with a baseball bat at 3 or 5. It was doing something, and years and years, I always had to spell words. Hey, what's this say? What's this say? What's this say? And then my mom quit high school or junior high in the 8th grade. So one of the issues I was telling you about is I had problems at home. Well, that was one of them. And so I'm like, okay, I'm making myself better somehow. I'm going to do something with this. But when I got in the door, it evolved into, well, I could do something with this. Not just not, it wasn't an end goal. Once I got in, it changed into, this isn't the end. There's so much more to do, right? There's postdoc work. There's helping people understand what we're doing in GRC Engineering Club. It doesn't stop there. It just keeps moving forward. It started as a dream, but now I'm on fire. I'm like, let's go do something else.
No, that's
Dream and debt.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh goodness, that is, let's not, you said the quiet part out loud, Amanda. That's, one of the things that, it's it's just just madness.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
all the times I disliked my military career, this is one where it has been a huge blessing. I literally don't have that much debt. So I think the most that I've had to pay is probably 20-ish grand from associates, bachelor's, masters, and I'm doing my finishing up my, yeah. But I do get that. I've seen some bills that people will pay. I'm like, ooh, ouch. How can you do that? How's that possible?
Listen, it's
Right?
not. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like we can cut to the chase. It's like we got, like I'm trying to figure out how do I fake my own death but still retain the degrees. It's a it's a one of
I
you
believe
got to be,
that.
yeah, one of the other two, right? Could I be a doctor in France? Like let me, but they wouldn't take me. I looked, they wouldn't take me. But so with going forward, right? And understanding, yes, GRC Club is going to build it. Like, where do you see the biggest impact? Again, change the world. I agree, but where are you going to nibble at or bite at first in terms of
Sure.
taking chunks out of that apple?
So what the GRC Engineering Club is doing is they are a big movement. Obviously, they're a big movement towards automation, right? And that has to happen before what I want to build can take place. Automation is the primary goal. Once automation is good and we have that just about perfected, we're going to turn the automation, because even if it's automated, there's still drift because it is a static artifact, right? It's still a small piece that some human has to look at and give their own opinion. And, different opinions vary across assessors. Human in the loop, you're like, okay, because one assessor is great, other assessor is, what's this crap? You're like, no, really? Anyway, so the goal is to get the static artifact out of the system completely 100%. Like I want it to be not part of the solution. Instead, I want to turn those artifacts into a signal to the convergent governance system. It's moving towards governance intelligence, where once it feeds that system, then there's an assurance level, and a GRC person will be like, "Oh, perfect, that's up to par." So it's similar to how aircraft inspectors look at airplanes. There's over a million sensors on the airplanes, but the inspector doesn't look at all 1 million of them, right? He does segments of those, and he says, okay, that piece is good. Then he goes to the next one. And if there's 1 out of 10 buttons wrong, then it's isolated down that. And if you look at 171, it's kind of that, only a person is forced into that governance. For instance, 3.1.1, right off of access control. It has one requirement, that first requirement because there's 22 in that family, but the first requirement has 5 or 6 objectives. Well, that's exactly what the airplane governance system is doing. Only the person is looking at each individual. Well, I want to change it from the person to actual governance intelligence, where we don't have to look at the objectives. They feed that requirement. The requirements feed well. That one's done. Move to the next one. And then we can expand even further, where it's one family is done on the governance intelligence. So we're really not looking at a static item. It's not a production of Excel sheet. Give me a static data and then wait for the assessor to say this is good, right? So you're actually once once it actually processes through your SOC 1.2s, your 171s, your GLBAs, your HIPAA, your HIT trusts, all those are going to be done in minutes, right? They're literally going to be done in minutes. And you'll just have us, the GRC guy. Well, it'll probably be just GR. It won't be GRC anymore. No compliance whatsoever, because it's all being done mission assurance.
I love the concept of then, because naturally, at least for me, where my mind went was, it leaves more time to fix what you find. If you find anything, and then
Yeah,
rather
absolutely.
than chasing your tail and, coming up with this paper exercise and putting it on the altar and praying and hoping that the assessor
Mm.
likes you, and then
Right.
and then sadly
Got
it
my
turns into
bribe.
then, yeah, oh, yeah, exactly, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen,"
Yep.
and Amanda's like, "That never happens." Yes, it does, not with you guys, but yes, it does. I'm sorry, but, like, not with anybody here. All right, like you put enough incentives. Like, this is, there's ethicists that make all their money talking about other people taking other people's money for nefarious things. But you then, because a lot of times what happens is you'll do that, you'll hope you pass, and then you never look at it until it's time for the dog and pony show to happen again, and then you have compliance theater versus actually building resilience, which is what these things were meant for.
You bring up a great point, because when I was doing consulting for higher education, there literally would be one or two people for multiple departments. And those people were wearing 17 hats. So they really had no time to do anything. When I found something, I was like, this is highly important. And I would get to number 45. These are all highly important. And he's just like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah,
So
they're dead
if
inside.
we do this, they have, like you said, they have time to go, okay, now I can make this SOC item better, or I can go and fix the network, or I can, yeah, you're absolutely 100% correct. Gives them time to really fix the things that are wrong.
Do you think that we'll be able to automate the whole process, or do you think there's aspects that we won't be able to automate?
So I think that is that's a double-edged sword. So if you open up the 171 and you look at all the items, there is 3.10 is around physical environment, right? Well, automation can't do anything with physical environment. They can't see a guy taking his key, unlocking the lock, and opening a gate. There's nothing that nothing can do that unless the company changes to an automation piece where the gate's electric. Then there's an
Yep,
electric
and then
log.
you get
But
logs. And
there's it just depends on the company. There's still some areas where I don't think automation's gonna fit, but it's gonna hit a large portion of what we do. And as we start moving into more automation, things will move automatically that way. Like eventually, yes, but there's too much physical stuff that's happening right now. There's still resentment in the GRC club engineering. This whole people like, you can't do this. You don't know what you're doing, and they're making it happen. I'm like, oh, you are blind, man.
no, there's pushback. I think, there's one of those questions that I see keep popping up is how do you get, like, if you're trying to start a movement in your 9 to 5, how do you get the organization that you work for to be okay with you running scripts or
Right.
with you playing with these tools? Like, how do you get from 0 to 1 there?
I think it's cultural.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Right. So you're absolutely correct. It is cultural, but I think there is just the same as there's any type of fresh idea. You asked me something earlier about how do you get people to come around to your line of thinking, and that's your soft skill ability to first listen to what their problem is. I mean, truly listen, not hear something and then come back with something, but truly listen to what their
Mhm.
item is. What's your issue? And then do your normal 9 to 5, and on the side, fix that thing that you can do, and then show them, hey, this is what happened, and let them give you feedback on if this was good or not. If it's perfect, you more than likely will have an opportunity to process that. If it's not perfect, then you go and fix the thing that, okay, I can do this. You start small. It takes that little tiny pebble. Start small, and the waves will come after the ripples.
do you think it automates people out of jobs? Because that might be a worry too.
No, 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 no. I think that uh, some of the pushback is fiefdom on this is how I make my money, right? I don't want this is how I do. I have my I have my Excel sheet and I'm going to do my interviews. That's exactly how I make my money. But if you can, encourage people to learn any of the littlest things, and it will not happen overnight. I guarantee it. I struggle sometimes talking to. I'm like, is your head made of marble? What? But
A classy way to call somebody a blockhead. I like that,
yeah,
Robert.
but I do struggle sometimes. But if you create the issue, you'll never get through. So you have to understand their issue and then help them see what you're doing. Because right when it's one sided, it's very difficult. But if you can pull them into what you're doing, I was just sitting on a podcast with James and Ethan and a guy from Ryan, I think is what his name was, and there was a guy on there. He was pushing back on stuff, but enough of the club was in there saying, "Hey, look at this! Hey, look at this!" And then they invited him, and I think he might be a convert. But it took time. If it was just one person, it'd be longer time. But it's everywhere. This pushback is everywhere. But as we move forward, more companies, for instance, FedRAMP 5. FedRAMP's moving from FedRAMP to 20X. That's pure, almost pure automation, right? People are doing CMMC the same way. They're starting with automation. I just did an assessment. I can't tell you who it is, but they have 90% of their stuff was automated with JSON files. I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, your JSON file is clean. That never happens.
And that's got to be like just such a. I haven't been on that side of things there. It's definitely pulling. And it's got to be amazing to see, and just go,
I
oh,
got
this.
goosebumps just talking about it right now. I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
this is because it's moving. The thing that I'm thinking about in my PhD, it's moving that direction. It is pretty awesome to be alive right now, watching this happen, not just sitting in the sidelines. Yay, go do it. Do it. We're in there doing it right now. We're doing it. That is the best part.
How long do you have left on your PhD?
I'm hoping to be so the schoolwork and my dissertation defense should be done. I want to say August. If everything lines up right, I should be done next August.
It'll be crazy to see where we're at with automation and.
but that's soon, man. That's
We'll
awesome
be
to
talking
hear.
about.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not very much time. Every man, there's some gray hair right here, but every day I get older, life is like a roll of toilet paper. That sucker just goes so quick.
It does. Listen, and it's like earth shattering because you're like, wait a second, I thought I had all this time, and then suddenly
Yeah,
you're
I
starting
think
to.
about all the time like that. I'm like, I don't have that much time left. I still want to retire and go enjoy stuff. So who knows? Who knows how long I'm going to do it? But I'm truly enjoying what I'm doing right now. I can't say that I did that. There are people who like the military, but I was like, this hurts. Who does this? Why are we? This is not right. Now I'm out and living life. I'm like, this is the best life. This is so good.
I just
Yeah.
picture you though, Robert. Like I kind of have a hunch. Yeah, you'll retire, but I kind of picture you always like teaching and giving back. I kind of see in the
My Lord,
wisdom,
yes.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have designs on doing something when I am retired because if you set yourself for idle time, then that's when a hard truth is you see it frequently is people they move to death only because okay, what do I left to do? But I want to keep this busy, keep moving,
Yeah.
keep trucking.
Yeah. No, no, it's so sad. Sandwich generation being what it is. You see the difference with the difference in approach. The folks
Mm,
to stay active, or even if it's hobbies, even if it's, I'm going to teach pro bono, or I'm going to teach,
something,
and
yeah, something.
yes,
That's right.
something where you're maybe doing it for like the local, adult learning centers. It's a big one where here, this is a skill I have. Let me share it with the world versus
Absolutely.
the folks that are just like, yeah, I'm retired. And then suddenly 6
One
months
of those
later,
one of those people is going to pick up your idea and carry it further into the next generation, right?
that's the beauty
You
of it.
you had asked me about drift. How do I compensate for drift? I've done it. I've compensated it so much that the thing that I'm working on, I'm building it as a platform for multiple industries across the world, and it's going to outlast me. That's how well drift is taken care of, right? Like it's going to live because if it only lasts as long as I'm alive, then I'm going to try to make it monetized. Well, I don't want to monetize it. I want it to be a staple across whatever's being done through AI. And I think I worked it out where it applies to quantum, but I'm not sure yet because I don't have a quantum computer. So if you got one of those lying around, that'd be great.
Listen, shout out, put in the comments if you have a line on quantum computers, and then please avoid the FBI when they show up at your house and go, "You said what?"
Jeez, oh my God.
But that reminds me, Robert, of the saying where it's the true measure of humanity in a person when they're planting trees, under whose shade they will never sit.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting here trying to say, "Hey, listen, I want this to outlast me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting, and again though, let's not forget the hardships that you faced getting to this point and the resiliency that you have to go, because other people in your situation with the hardships that you face, we've both seen that, Robert, could go the other way, where
Absolutely.
then they get closed off and they hate the world
Right.
and they get bitter. But
Absolutely.
I've never seen that. I haven't even seen. Honestly, man, even in the age of the internet, like everyone has a bad day where they're saying some wild stuff. I haven't seen that from you, man. Like there's no like smoking gun comment, like where it's like, oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
he
yeah.
had a rough day and he's telling that person go kick rocks, right? Or that their heads
No.
made him hard, right? Like, but but I've never like you're always brimming with that positivity and that energy of like, let's go get it, let's get after it. It's energizing, man. Like, I see that, and if I'm having a slow Saturday and I see you come in, like, basically kicking the doors off the place and going, "What are we doing today?"
Right on.
It charges you up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it.
I appreciate it.
I attribute that to the support group. My wife is a phenomenal supporter, so that helps a lot when you don't have to think about, okay, what do I got to do when I'm done with this, right? You already know because she's telling you what's the next thing that's happening. Okay,
No,
got
no,
it.
the I remember my wife, like, sort of facetiously, but not, when I graduated, I have a listen, yeah, where this is going. I have a shirt. She got me a shirt to celebrate my graduation that says, I have a PhD, fight me, right? Which I don't wear outside of the house. Like I just,
Love
because
it.
I'm
I
not a
love
young
it.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I
want
love it.
any of that smoke. That's the past me. But then she has one that says I survived my husband's
That's
dissertation,
see, that's awesome. Yeah, I love
but
it.
it's the truth. Like
Yep,
you don't
support
get
group is
here alone,
fantastic. Yep.
right? Like
No,
that's
no, I've
the
had so many mentors on my own thing. And when I say mentor, they're not all good. And so when you hear the thing that you don't want to hear, you're like, I'm gonna prove that motherfucker wrong, right? You tell them that. You're like, I'm bullshit. I got
and then
something
you go
here.
back and you say thank you for
Yeah, that's
pissing me
exactly
off
right. That's
because
exactly right.
Remember me?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that is
doctored
awesome.
me now.
That's exactly right.
I Oh, that's
Yes, sir.
amazing.
Yes, sir.
Robert, are you a part of any other groups? I saw, I was talking to you on LinkedIn a little earlier. Hate to admit it, but I saw you got like 17 certs. You're an
Yeah, thank
introvert.
you. I am a ordained minister. I am part of the National Success and Leadership and SLS. I'm part of that.
Nice.
I do volunteer, not as much as I want to, but I know it matters. Like it matters twofold. One for my own humanity and one because I'm doing good for someone else. They see it. They see just like you said, man, you come kicking in the doors and then I got energized. Well, I feel that when I walk somewhere, when I go and I got my energy, people pick up on it. And then that energy, yeah, is exactly right. They get energized and it helps move people. I do have to tell you though, I'm not like this 100%. Yeah, no, yeah, I got my times. I'm like, oh, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I need some
No,
alone time
listen.
right now.
I like the honesty though, because like some people, especially in the age of the internet, they want to put out there where it's like, I'm Tony Robbins all the time. Like my
Oh,
friend,
God, no,
like there's
right,
no like that for me, that would be suspect. Like if somebody like,
right,
hold on, when
no,
do you power off?
yeah,
This is like what you're just cruising for a breakdown then at that point. Like
yeah, right,
because some people
exactly.
try to portray that, and it's you have a new daughter, and like I know eventually one of the conversations I'm going to have where there's like that's not like what they people portray isn't all that there is. This is
I was
you're
having
just
that
putting.
conversation. I was having that conversation right now about it's just not your own family. It's what you see on the news or what you see from entertainers or singers. They put out this one persona and you're like, that can't be all right. Am I doing something wrong? And then you find out a couple months later, they're in some kind of channel. You're like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
yeah. They were hiding some
Yeah.
dirt there,
So
and
everybody
you're
has
right.
their own skeletons, and so you can't say I'm judging you because you did this. No, we all have our own little thing that. Yeah, absolutely right.
Amanda, yeah, I think it's Friday feel out time. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, my mind, I don't know, we just had, like, some deja vu. You had a little with Robert, now I had a little with you. I was just looking at the time, like, I think it's that time. I mean,
Right?
time flying, but
All right. So it's a new segment. We're gonna get better with it, friends. I promise. A little more consistent with it. Putting them out every Friday, essentially like an AMA. We have a ton of great people in the club. One of the best things I think I kind of stumbled into in this past year for just personal growth and development.
Awesome.
So avail yourselves of when we put out there. Ask us anything. We'll bring it back to the club. We'll ask you guests live. One of the questions on the previous one, I think I was a bit of a gremlin here, and it's kind of a softball. And I know, Robert, you're going to eat it the heck up here, but certs versus degrees.
My Lord. Okay, so I do have an opinion here.
Okay.
Based on my trajectory, I don't think there's experience, a cert, or education that has more prominence over the other. I think they all play some piece of who you become. And I think one of the reasons I say this is because there will be a season when you want certs, right? And so you're going to hit it. And there'll be another season where you want to apply those certs and you're going to get some experience. Well, there'll be one more season where you're like, well, I want to get a little broader than what I have. So it really depends on the season you're in for experience, for your cert, or for your education, right? All of them have a little piece, and you can't get them all at the same time, but I do see people trying. Yeah, I do see people whipping them out. 100. I'm like, oh man, they just popped those things. Would you just pay for that or what?
That's,
That's
yeah,
smart.
we all shouldn't become plumbers.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yes. No, I do. I just think it just depends on the season that you're in, and it's individual. It's not. It could be even if your company is looking for a specific thing, you may not want that specific thing. You want something different, so you don't chase that, right? But there'll be another go-getter that's going to follow behind you. Who's like, I'll do that. I'll go get it. It really just depends on the season of what you are in, where your mindset is, where your heart is.
yeah, I love that. I think there's a lot of doom and gloom recently and a lot of debate of, should I go get that degree? And I
I
think,
just think because there's so many boot camps or so many schools of here, if you get these, you'll succeed. Well, that's not the thing. Is you do it for you, right? You don't do it for what you hear out there. You do it for you isolate. Okay, so let's step back a little bit. I in my PhD process, I built this system called the Sentinel Leadership. And when you look at leadership from other other areas, I guess, they all are like 3 to 6 month bolt on. Like they try to teach you charisma. They try to teach you speaking. They try to teach you the thing that they think leaders are. Well, my system is everybody's born with leadership and there's a tiny seed in everybody's brain. And depending on what you're exposed to in your environment, your leadership will either grow or fizzle out. My Sentinel leadership develops every stage from 5 years old up to 70 years old. Depends on what you want to do. So you'll manifest the thing that you want to do. And before you get there, you have to learn who you are first. Learn you as an individual, what your strengths are, not what somebody's telling you. The TV's not telling you. Your mom's not telling you. You figure out what your strengths are. Then maximize that and be the person you want to be in 20 years. Every decision should be based on that thing you want to be. That's my Sentinel Leadership School right there in a nutshell. Yeah.
the mic on us.
listen, I'm honestly like intentional, where it's not just reactive or like you said,
Absolutely
you're taking
intentional. Yeah.
other
And
people's cookie
right.
cutter.
It's nothing wrong with changing your mind either, but you have to like, okay, this is what I want. I really do want this. Make those packs with whatever's in that environment to set that way, right? You make that happen, not what everybody's telling you. You should be a doctor. You should be a lawyer. You're not smart. You should go dig ditches. That's not how that works, right? You figure out who you are and then move with that.
Big time.
Anyway,
Big time.
yeah.
No,
Certs,
not anyway. That's
education,
phenomenal.
experience.
Yeah. The next one we had here was, is entry level GRC a myth?
No. It will be a myth, but it is not currently a myth. No.
Hey.
No. There are multiple consulting and assessments that I've been on that other people can do portions of it. For instance, the CMMC, mostly because I have a lot of background in CMC assessment. The CMMC has the level 1 area where we only got 15 or 17 controls, right? So even before that, you can learn the CMMC process. You can learn the CAP process or what CMC is all about before you even get started in doing assessment. There's tons of entry stuff to do before you get there. Tons. Absolutely tons.
I don't know. I think I'm going to take the opposite and say that I think it's dead.
Entry DRCs, I think it's moving that way. You're all right with everybody trying to automate everything. But if more people are doing Python in the 7th grade or scripting in the 7th grade, that's your entry level still. So it's not dead.
Maybe let me rephrase. I think
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Bring it. I got it.
I think the number of people going for entry level positions is exponential, and the amount that are out there is minimal. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
So what's your frame of reference for this? Because there is a lot of malarkey out there. I don't know how else to say it. There's a lot of malarkey. And when I say malarkey, I know there are big companies who post a job that's entry and then don't hire for it because they're making their company look better for shareholders. Like, I think that's bullshit. Why are they doing that? I'm not saying they're guilty of something, but they shouldn't be posting a job if they're not going to hire someone. And that influences what people see on there's lots of jobs. Well, millions of people didn't get selected because they weren't really wanting somebody. Or another one is if they do post, they know absolutely 100% they're going to hire within. They already know that, and they're posting and didn't select anyone and just turned it off.
I think the requirements, though, like claiming something's entry level, but having 3 years of experience, I see that too.
Yeah.
So what we
that's
saying entry level is.
That's an HR thing. They don't know how to write the job description, right? I want entry level, but you got to have a CISSP. That is right. That's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. How is that even possible? Right. So what I always tell people is, even though the job description is to the moon, you put what you can on there, because sometimes they're just fishing on what they can get. Sometimes, right? So if you tell yourself, I don't qualify for this, right? Then you are telling the company is not, right? So you go make them tell you no. Make them do the work. You did the work putting the application in. You go tell them to say, no, I don't want you.
But how are you bypassing the ATS systems that are now your resumes got run through a AI system?
Sure.
You don't have those 3 years.
I've heard this a million times. I've heard the ATS system kicks people out because they don't have XXXX. And all I can say is, because I don't have a hands-on experience of, it's just somebody telling me that they kicked me out because of ATS. There's not a definitive proof of that thing unless you're in HR. So one of the offsets is there's a way to help people write the resume where it's not mimicking the words, you're not replicating the words, but you're hitting their highlights with your own experience, right? I know how to dig ditches, and they want somebody that can run a whatever shovel, right? Well, you say the thing that it is for the shovel that you know how to do, just not their dimensions. You know what I'm saying? You reframe what projects on their resume.
Yeah, I think we might need some examples after this of
Yeah, absolutely.
job description that is truly entry level, doesn't require 3 years, a CASP, alphabet soup. I don't know if it's a conversation that needs to be had with HR. But can people hit you up, Robert, if they need help bypassing
Absolutely.
ATS?
Yes, absolutely. I will do my best to assist. But I would request, if that happens, that if they get denied and they do the follow-up and ask why, right? Because they're going to give them 9 times out of 10, they'll give them a reason why, or they'll just ghost them. But you should be able to follow up with some company and figure out, unless it's a big company, figure out what was the reason that they didn't get selected. It might take a couple of weeks, but you hound them enough, they're going to want you not in their email. And they're like, okay, look, son of a bitch, this is what I said.
Just get that auto reject.
Yeah, sorry.
Like, sorry.
Yeah. You will get an answer. That's right. Right. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly right. I know, since you're coming from a sales perspective, I know when I go into any, let's say, any furniture store, any car place, when they come out of the woodworks and start hunting you down, I'm like, I'm not interested. Go away. I don't even want to answer questions because they're storming you, right? You're like, oh my Lord, no, I'm not buying your dinner tonight. Go away. Right. So you're absolutely right. If I was a salesman, I would really, I can't storm people because I know that's how I am. When you come at me, I'm going to turn you away immediately. If I feel like I'm any kind of pressure, it's right off. No, right away. No. So trying to build a conversation, you have to be able to view someone and determine if they're just looking or if they want information, right? And you could even just do a soft ask. How do you feel about this? They'll either say, I'm just you know what I mean? You get the vibe, you get that. And you have to determine your own soft skill capability. You'll have to determine that. So when you do get that interaction, simple question, and you do listen, 100% listen, because will reveal more than they need to about what's going on. If you build the right rapport, they won't be curt. They'll be more open. I've learned that you'll be more open if you provide the opening. Out of love. All right, my Lord. Right. That's funny. Sure, do that.
Omar, you're not getting a cut.
Right? Well, this is awesome. This is awesome. You. That's right. Mhm, absolutely. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on. That's right. That's right. Exploit it. Yeah. Sometimes those awkward pauses, like when you are talking and they're talking and you don't do the response and it's a little bit long, awkward pause, they'll follow up with something left field and it'll come around. This, oh, you do know actually. I'm like, they just told on themselves. They just told on their boss. Oh man. Absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Yes.
Nobody's going to join our meetings anymore.
Just keep writing. Just typing. Oh my, so funny. Yeah. Right. That's crazy. Good to know. Thank you very much. Right? Yeah, right. This is not going well for you right now. You were talking about listening, and then I tied that into another segment of drift. So what one of the areas of drift is, because I want this thing that I'm working on to work well, is when people start using AI, they develop a relationship with it, and AI listens more than your mom, right? It really listens a lot. And if there's an anthropic area to that, there's a way that drift will occur because they become more friendly, and the math will change appropriate if you're treating them as a friend versus a tool. That's the last thing I want to say. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna fight. Let's fight now. Oh, this is awesome. Right. Yeah, it is fantastic. Is that all you do? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear it all the time. Yep. Yep. What year was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yes. Oh my Lord. Absolutely, 100%. I was doing that. What's- Oh my goodness. You are too kind. You're way too kind, brother. Way too kind. But yeah, oh, that's too funny. So funny. Right. You are too kind. Yeah.
Shout out to the
Oh
new
yes,
merch.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Awesome. Right. Where are you at actually on that side? Right on. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Right? Oh, you're killing me. Support system. That is absolutely right. I live with an angel, and I swear she's gonna be, oh shoot, what do they call that? We're drawing a blank right now because I'm thinking about GRC. Anyways, saint. There we go. She's gonna be a saint when she passes away. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hell yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. I'm looking forward to getting as many people involved in this process that I can. The more money I can get from the government, the more I can flow into the GRC Engineering Club, because it's only going to help more people grow. I'm like, this is fantastic. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Omar called you old quite a few times. Just want to put that out there.
It's the gray. I think it's the gray. It's funny is I only feel like I'm 20, but my body is 80.
Omar's talking about things outlasting you, trees being small. I don't know. I just had a
That's too funny. Funny. Yeah, it is.
I'm just
You bet.
Thanks,
Enjoy.
Robert.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.